everyone, it's Evit, and this is another process video, and I'm using the Scraptastic May kit. If you're hungry, I suggest you go eat before watching the video because I'm gonna talk a lot about one of my favorite things, food. And the layout itself is quite simple. I just picked a few papers that I thought looked nice. It's just lots of photos of food. Yum. So, I think one of the things that happen when you're an immigrant is that you think a lot and you miss a lot the food that you're used to. And I come from Israel, and it's kind of an immigrant country itself. So we have very, very, very eclectic food. And on top of that, there is the regional local food, which is Middle Eastern food. So mostly like Arab food, hummus and tahini and all those yummy, yummy, yummy things. We have a lot of fruits and vegetables and a lot of fresh cheese. I would say that's more our strength, and as opposed to like the older, mature cheeses, which I would say Europe is quite good with that. And so being an immigrant, I have to learn the local language, which is German. And then I meet other immigrants, and they also come from all kinds of places, and then we talk about food, and we talk about the food that we miss, and we talk about the food that we can find, and we complain about the local food. And as I've said it in another video, the local food is really excellent in Austria. The quality is like very, very, very high. But I would say it's not very varied. There's just so many times you can eat a schnitzel, as good as it is. No, I can't say bad things about schnitzel. I won't. But funny little story. One time I was in China, and I was in this little town that is, I think, very like touristic and famous with tourists. It's called Lijiang, and it's kind of built on all these tiny rivers, so kind of like Venice but Chinese. And there was one restaurant there that served like dishes from around the world. So you had the American meal and the French meal and the Italian meal and whatever. And the Israeli meal was schnitzel and mashed potatoes, which is pretty much as Austrian as it gets. Schnitzel is very, 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 very common in Israel, but it was just funny that was the Israeli meal. And my Austrian husband also finds it very amusing. So that's a little anecdote. Antidote is something completely different. Oh my God, the brain is freezing. Okay. So anyone knows antidote to stupidity? I guess not. This is one of my favorite ways to scrap a few photos, and I usually edit them in Photoshop and kind of create a collage or like a photo strip or something like that. So what I wanted to say, you meet a lot of other immigrants and you talk about your like the food that you're used to and blah blah blah, and then everyone drools over everyone else's food. So I decided to put my money where my mouth was. I think there's an expression like that. Maybe I should not try to speak English. So I made an Israeli dinner for some of my friends that were like not Israeli, and for me it was also such a treat because I made all the stuff that I miss and love to eat and just don't usually make them because my husband and my daughter are just not used to that type of food, and some of the ingredients can be hard to get here. For example, I live in the countryside, and I think I cleared every eggplant in a 5-mile radius, kilometer, for that meal, and I needed 3. So some of the ingredients are a bit tricky to get here. Sweet potatoes is another example. They are super common in Israel, so much so that we export them, and I can find in my local supermarket in Austria, well, not my local supermarket because my local supermarket is tiny, but a bigger supermarket, I usually find sweet potatoes imported from Israel. Anyway, I made like sweet potatoes patties that are yummy, yummy, yummy. I made eggplant sandwiches with cheese inside and tahini on top, and then they go baked into the oven. I made a couple of quiche, one with goat cheese and roasted peppers spread, and then the other is a Mediterranean quiche with lots of roasted vegetables and a nice what is the thing called? We call it like a royale, which is kind of a mixture of cheese and eggs and heavy cream that you just pour into the pie crust around the vegetables and the cheeses. And of course I made homemade hummus and tahini, and I managed to find some sad imitation of pita bread. And of course, fresh vegetable salads. We love our salads. We are addicted to salads. We eat salads all the time in Israel. And I made also that for our Israeli dinner. And yeah, I think, oh, and of course cookies, because we also love our sweet stuff, and the pastry and desserts are really, really good in Israel. So I made pecan butter buttons kind of cookies, and chocolate explosion cookies, which are my favorite. They're like my secret weapon. It's not my recipes or anything. Everything is from books. And yeah, it was just delicious, and I'm really looking forward to making all that wonderful food again. So I don't think I said anything scrapbook related. I'm sorry about that. If you have any questions, please leave a comment and I'll try to answer. Have a great day and week, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.